Really is an extremely difficult task to deal with. They've been trying for 2 or 3 years now to get a grip on the jihadist revolt in the area, not with a great deal of success, it has to be said. And doubts are being raised in all countries, including France, about whether it should be continued, at least in its present form. The French are unhappy about the criticism that they're getting in the G5 countries, accusing the G5 governments of not condemning the criticism they're getting at a time when France is losing its soldiers in the area. The G5 countries themselves, in many respects, not happy about the level of support they believe they're getting from France and the European Union countries, and at the same time, the situation on the ground getting worse. 89 Nigerian soldiers killed last week. A month ago, 71 Nigerian soldiers killed in another jihadist attack. Over the course of the year, 4,000 people killed, many of them civilians, up 5 times on 2 years ago. The figures they're facing are really daunting in a space which is gigantic, and covering it with the forces at their disposal, even if those forces were good. The 4,500 French troops, they're extremely professional. But the G5 group, really not up to the required level to deal with an insurgency of this seriousness.
So given all of that, what's the way forward, if there is one at all?
Well, there are a number of factors that they have to look at. Obviously, one of them is financing. They would like more money, but the problem, at least in part, is who's going to put money into the G5 military effort now when they see the performance of the G5 military is really below par. The training is bad, the equipment is bad. Now, of course, that might be improved to a certain extent with more money, but the level of professionalism is really not up to scratch. Plus, many people see the performance not just of the G5 group, G5 special forces, but also the national armies, as being part of the problem rather than the solution. In many, particularly of the peripheral parts of the countries involved, the armies are seen as being corrupt, as brutal, completely disregarding human rights, and creating the circumstances in which jihadist groups can thrive. So a lot has to be done to look at not just the military aspect of this, but improving professional standards, looking very closely at social difficulties in these areas, trying to address the problems of pastoralists against hunters, trying to deconflictize situations that lead to the creation of circumstances, conditions in which the jihadist groups can thrive.